you said this very interesting sentence: the connection between the blockchain revolution, evolution, the digital currencies, and the current old world financial system.
Cooperation would be a healthy transition instead of competition, but competition is going to fuel the transition regardless. So power hierarchies are all about maintaining power over a period of time, and economic hierarchies are about consolidating wealth and increasing the economic power that groups have. And so while that competition continues, which is a massively important part of how we currently understand and measure our productivity, while that occurs, I don't think there is a possibility of a healthy transition. I think we get to the healthy transition when the systems outgrow the philosophy on which they're built. So then they have to fail, because the philosophy that is underpinning the beliefs and the philosophy that underpins the actions starts to transcend the good players and the bad players. And you get a social instability that isn't good for anybody. And when that starts to happen, you see massive change occur very quickly. It's not a perfect example, but at least an example in terms of how quickly humanity can mobilize to change the course of our lives is the lockdown with COVID. For me, it was one day to the next. For our city, it was one day to the next. We went from living one way for the last 19 years to a military lockdown immediately. It took less than 24 hours for it to occur. If we want to mobilize together and do something, we can. We have the ability to do it right now, but there has to be one bonding, cohesive reason to make us want to do that. Otherwise, we fight over the rationale and the reasons within the nature of that competition. So if we have an opportunity to, in essence, outgrow the current philosophy of the systems that we have, we naturally will replace them with other kinds of systems. We may not replace them with a bigger, badder, worse version than what we currently have. It gives us an opportunity to innovate in positive ways for the evolution of humanity. So I don't think you can govern with any of the political systems or financial systems if you double the population. I just don't think they hold up. The scaling issues alone, the food production issues, the energy production issues, the effect on the climate, et cetera, brings in so many variables and anomalies that we have an inevitable problem. And so I think at the time when things become critical, we'll react to that. The species is very reactory. It reacts instead of being proactive. So innovators innovate. It's a very proactive expression of our consciousness, but most people are held in a state of reaction. And so for the masses to adopt new ways of doing things, they need to be given the permission to do so, and they need to be given the appropriate education to understand them, and they need to have a rationale to, in essence, update. It's not easy for us to make those changes. So in the short term, I don't think we're going to make those changes. There's going to be greater conflict. There's going to be regulatory, constraints placed on the good actors and bad actors. There's going to be the same polarity drawn. But I think what ultimately comes out of that is a much richer, much stronger expression of the technology, which then can ultimately be used to transcend that polarity.